This video is sponsored by Laka. Get 30 days free bicycle insurance using the link and code down below. Canyon has fully updated its Grizl gravel bike and they sent me 2 for testing over the coming weeks, as you can see behind me. What I like about the Grizl is it's a fantastic, easy to recommend gravel bike for everything bar extreme racing. And what's nice about the new model is they've retained everything I liked about the previous original model, but just refined it and improved it in a few key areas. And what's really cool about the new bike is the range of options available, from suspension to a dynamo, front and rear light powered system for fully unsupported adventure riding. So a real showcase for how gravel is evolving and diversifying and just being embraced by more and more people. So let me give you a first look and then a bit of a first ride on the one behind me in today's video, but full reviews coming on both bikes on the channel over the next few months, so make sure you are subscribed if you want to see those. The new Grizl has a number of useful updates. Tyre clearance is now up to 54mm, so plenty of option to fit those big chunky tyres you want, or even a mountain bike tyre if you prefer. There are more mounts for cargo capacity and bottles. Fenders and mudguards will fit. The geometry has been slightly improved and pushed on a step further from the old bike to be even better and more capable when riding off-road, and now has, perhaps most controversially, semi-internal routing. It's hard to escape the popularity and desirability of internal routing on drop bar bikes, but thankfully on the Grizl they've gone semi-internal. And what that means is the brake hoses go from a regular handlebar and stem setup into the top cap of the headset and into the frame. Other details I like include an external seat clamp, a round 27.2mm seat post, and a regular 1 1/8" steering tube. Yes, the bottom bracket is still press fit, but Canyon quality control, in my experience, is very good. Both bikes now have internal frame storage like we saw on the Grizl, with a hatch on a down tube for storing spare parts and inner tubes and pumps and so on. And both bikes, again like on the Grizl, have the fidlock system along the top tube for fitting an optional frame bag. The new Grizl is a single carbon fibre frame, no tiers of carbon fibre like you get on the Ultimate with CF SLX and CFR and so on. Now, what's really interesting and really exciting for me about the new Grizl range is how they've used that frame and then offered a wide range of builds, and roughly there are 2 options, well 3 actually. Behind me is the OG, what they're calling the original gravel bike, available with a rigid carbon fork or the new DT Swiss suspension fork, as I have here. The new DT Swiss F132 suspension fork provides 40mm of travel. The air pressure can be easily adjusted for different rider weights, and there's a rebound adjuster dial on the outside. They're 45mm wide tyres, 1x13 gearing, a regular handlebar and stem, very normal looking, a really nice looking package. And this bike here with the SRAM Rival Explore group set and DT Swiss G1800 wheels retails for just £3,300, which strikes me as a bit of a bargain. That's a lot of bike for not a lot of cash. And then over my left shoulder with a really neat camo paint finish, showing that Canyon does have a sense of humour, is what they're calling the Escape version of the Grizl with their brand new Eclipse system. And that Eclipse system comprises a dynamo front hub, just taking 3 watts of drag, so nothing really, and that powers a front and rear light built into the bike, and a battery inside the frame, the down tube, to power the whole system and take the excess charge from the dynamo to keep the lights running even when you're not pedaling. And there's even a USB-C port on the steering tube for powering a computer, charging your phone, a power bank, and other devices you might need during a long distance event. Canyon reckons this approach is the best of both worlds, the best of a dynamo and the best of a power bank. It does have some similarity with Cannondale's SmartSense, but the use of a dynamo sets it apart and it makes a lot of sense for the riding this bike is intended for. So very much a bike designed to be fully self-sufficient when you're riding a long way from a civilization, a long way from a mains port, so perfect for something like Badlands, an 800km unsupported event, or you're just doing a 2-week bikepacking trip across Europe. So really interesting setup. And then the other quirky detail on the bike, but it's totally optional, is what they're calling the full mounty handlebar. When you're riding a long way on the bike, you might want that time trial position. Lots of ultra distance riders and racers will use time trial extensions on their bike to just give them somewhere to rest their body. It's also aerodynamic as well, but also just about relieving the pressure from your arms when you're on the hoods and in the drops, give you more position on the bike to sort of get down and rest on the handlebars and try not to fall asleep when you're riding through the night. So a really cool looking handlebar. Other bike brands do offer something similar, but I haven't seen many mainstream bike brands offering such a handlebar on their bike. It's usually the Salsas and the Surleys offering such a handlebar on a bike like this. The bike I have here is equipped with a Shimano GRX 1x12 mechanical group set with a mountain bike 1051 cassette. That's another detail on the escape bikes. They have mountain bike gearing, so bigger cassettes for the bigger hills and tougher terrain you're more likely to experience on such a bike when riding a long way out in the middle of the wilderness. And then 45mm Schwaber G1 Overland Performance tyres and lighter weight DT Swiss G1600 wheels. And this bike retails for £4,000. And again, that sounds like a really good price for all that bike and all that equipment. Both these bikes look like fantastic value for money, and over the next few months I'll be riding them and there will be reviews here on Just Ride Bikes. And if you are in the market for a new bike like one of these, then you definitely need bike insurance, and that's where today's sponsor Laka comes in. No excess, no depreciation, and you're covered for theft, damage and even race day mishaps. There's no contract, and you can pause or cancel anytime. Instead of a fixed fee, everyone shares the cost of claims each month, and if claims are low, you pay less. Laka only earns when claims are paid, so definitely on your side. And it's super easy to get a quote for your bike or multiple bikes on their website right now. So don't wait until it's too late. There's 30 days free bicycle insurance with code JUSTRIDE at laka.co or hit the link in the description below. Wow, it's hot today. 35 degrees, baking hot. So I've taken this bike out for a first ride today for this section of the video because it's the more sort of normal of the two bikes they sent me for testing, and because I rode the Grail with the DT Swiss fork at the Tracker in Girona back in May. I'm really intrigued to try the fork out on the Grizl, which I think is a better platform for that fork, and on my local trails. So I'll do a ride review on the other version of the bike in a future video, something else planned for that. So out for a spin today, and I've ridden the previous Grizl with suspension and without suspension in the past right here on Just Ride Bikes. So yeah, let's do some pedaling. Let's do some road miles first. Got a few miles of country lanes to take me to my gravel sector, and on the road it feels really good. These Schwaber tyres, they're not the fastest rolling tyre and they're quite noisy as well, but tyre choice is a tricky one to get right for every scenario out there. But yeah, not slow, just not as fast as a Pathfinder or something with a smooth section down the middle. And now unlock the suspension fork and let's head off road. And now the tyres make a lot more sense on this very dry, loose, scrubby surface. The tyres are working really well. I might go to the drops, a bit more control, nice flared drops, good control, nice wide handlebar. Yeah, the bike carrying good speed down this single track section. I can't really see much, it's very dappled light, but the bike's handling it well. It's quite rough down here, but the suspension fork is definitely keeping it nice and smooth and popping out onto some road again. So this is fairly standard for the gravel in the Cotswolds. A bit of country lane, and then a bridleway or byway, and then back on the road and link it together. Very different to US style gravel, I know, but it's what I have on my doorstep, and it's fast down here on the road. Nice laid back steering, quite slow steering, corners really nicely, very laid back. On this rough stuff right now, yeah, comfort's good. Suspension fork, I can see doing its job, and that split seat post out back, it does a magic job of stopping all the impact going straight into your bottom. So right, dropping into a rougher section here. Let's see how the bike and the fork copes. Just hopefully there's no dog walkers. Right, let the brakes off. Let the speed build up. Oh, a few roots there. It's pretty composed. It bounces around a little bit, but not too bad. It's definitely more composed, more stable than a rigid gravel bike. I'm not getting the benefits of the seat post right now, of course. Oh, powerful brakes. One finger braking down there. Just to check my speed. Let it go again. Gets a bit rougher and a bit looser down here. In and out of the sunlight and the shade. Just looking out for bigger rocks and sticks to avoid. Gets a bit rough down here, so I'm going to be slightly cautious. And my first ride, literally my first ride on this bike today. A live ride review right here in the Cotswolds. Right, it's quite bumpy down there, but the bike's good. Oh, I feel the suspension fork working. At the bottom, let it go a bit, let it run out, let the speed build up. Oh, not my fastest run down there, but definitely one of my smoothest this side of a mountain bike anyway. I know a lot of people will take issue with the suspension fork on their bike, and I get it. I know where you're coming from. You lose that simplicity, the purity, and the low weight of a gravel bike. So why might you consider the suspension fork? Is it a gimmick? Well, no. If you want more comfort, you want to ride faster with less fatigue through the upper body, you want more control when riding off-road on rough trails, the suspension fork does deliver. But my concern with the DT Swiss, as impressed as I clearly am, are the rather short service intervals of like 50 hours, and that's a major concern. So my position on the bike is, it's interesting. I'm on a size medium, 181 centimetres tall, and the main takeaway, observation straight away, got a really short stem and a very wide flared handlebar, and the front is quite high. That suspension fork jacks the front up a little bit, and quite a few spaces underneath the stem, too many really for me, so I might have to move some around. And it creates quite a relaxed fit. My reach to the hoods is okay, I'm not cramped, I'm not stretched out. It's a nice sort of happy medium. I'm not designed to be an out and out performance aero race bike where you want to be stretched, like my MV Mog. That's longer, narrower and lower. But it's a race bike, but more racy than the Grizl. As a starting point, if you're just riding gravel for fun, I think the setup works well. It's quite relaxed. That helps when descending. You don't have so much weight over the front wheel. So it's a very easy bike to manage in tricky situations, shall we say. This is my first time using SRAM Rival Explore in the UK, the new 1x13. All the same technology as Red Explore, so 13 speed cassette, 1046 range, nice ergonomic hoods, fantastic brake levers, ergonomics just fantastic. And this bike costing £3,300. I mean, that's a bit of a bargain really, isn't it? In this world of £10,000 super bikes, for a tickle over £3 for all this, with a suspension fork and a carbon frame and a group set that delivers all the performance really of Force and Red above it. The one thing I miss are the bonus buttons on the hoods, but I can live without them. If I buy a bike, I'll buy some blips and put them on at the tops, because when you're climbing, I like having that option to change gear like right here. Just more flexibility. So riding a bike today, it does feel very similar to the outgoing Grizl, and that's a good thing, because the Grizl wasn't broken. It didn't need fixing, just needed a few updates to keep it current with the rapidly moving gravel trend. And given the new bike bigger tyre clearance was an easy move, and while some people might say 54 isn't enough, I think for most people for the next few years it's probably more than enough. You can fit a mountain bike tyre, the 45s on it run just fine, so I think yeah, it's big enough. There are a few outliers going wider, but it remains to be seen just how wide gravel tyres will go. And I personally think they're settled down at around 45 to 50, with some people using mountain bike tyres here and there. The geometry refinements are nice. I like the super slow, relaxed steering. It just makes riding off-road about as easy as it gets this side of a mountain bike. So first impressions on this bike are that it's a safe but well executed update, and still an easy bike to recommend, especially when you look at the price, the value for money this bike offers. But a full review coming in the next few weeks and months. Stay tuned for that. Hit that subscribe button down below, and of course don't forget your 30 days free bike insurance with Laka. Use the link down below. Okay, that's all for today. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you again very, very soon.